Good evening, everybody. Chris and Tiffany here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to the last live of 2023.
Yes.
We are closing out 2023.
It's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. We already have some people in the room here waiting.
Yes, we've got Dilly. Good afternoon. California Linda says hello. Robert says good evening to all, and Dale says hello.
All right, welcome everybody to tonight's live. We'll give everybody a couple minutes. Jump in, say hello, and then we'll get started with tonight's live. Hope everybody had a great Christmas, because it's been 2 weeks since we've done a live.
Yes.
Well, since we've done a live here in the studio.
Yes.
We did do our live last week from Galveston, Texas, and I don't know, I'm going to say this much. Went down there, was standing on Pier 21 watching the Jubilee come in, and boy, I was itching to go on a cruise. That little bit of cruise ship I got, couldn't touch it, couldn't get any closer than we got, but boy, that made me really want to go cruising.
Well, you got less than 3 weeks.
That's true. Well, no, 3 weeks exactly.
Okay.
It's 22 days from today.
Okay.
So technically 3 weeks away before we actually get to go cruising again. But I don't know, it has felt like some of the longest amount of time waiting to go cruising.
Frankie says hello from Panama City Beach, Florida.
Awesome. Welcome to the show. Got Florida representing in the house tonight. So how was everybody's holidays? Everybody have a good Christmas? Anybody get a cruise in their stocking?
Melinda says hello from Austin. California Linda understands we are 62 days out from our cruise.
Yeah, you start counting down those last couple months, then you get down to the last couple weeks, and it just seems like time slows down, because you really want to be back out there, and you really want to be back out there cruising, and I'm excited.
Yes.
I think that's my problem. Sleepy all the time, and all this. It is. I'm missing the ocean.
Just make you sleep even more?
No, get out on the ocean, get excited.
Yes.
Eat some food, see some shows, go to some cruise ports. It's like an adrenaline booster, much more than anything else.
Yeah.
See, but that's my whole problem. It's lack of cruising.
Okay.
I'm going to have to cruise more.
You're going on a cruise in 22 days. Frankie says Santa brought us the flu.
Oh.
That's not good.
No, that's
worse than coal.
Yeah, that's like surprise coal. It's like, oh, no cruise for you, but guess what? You get the sniffles, the coughs, and the fever, the chills.
Well, Frankie, we hope you feel better soon.
Yes. A cruise would make you feel better. I think it's a cure-all for everything.
Yes.
You don't feel well? Go on a cruise. Don't go on a cruise while you're sick.
No, because then you get everybody else sick.
Yeah, then you get everybody else sick, and then you have a miserable time. But if you go on a cruise, that's like, you know what they say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the same thing for cruising.
Okay. Melinda says 39 days until Regal Princess from Galveston. So excited.
Ooh, Regal Princess. We have not done the Regal Princess. I was about to say, I like the Regal. I have not been on the Regal. No, we were on Discovery. Discovery was really pretty. Regal is one of the ships that we're looking at doing, though.
Yes. Frankie says they think they got it from Mardi Gras cruise. So quit telling people to get on a cruise.
I said, well, you better. No, you cruise before you get sick. Yeah, I mean, that unfortunately does happen. You get that many people jam-packed into one spot, and I'm sure you people watch. They see. People do not wash their hands. And there's some unsanitary folks out there. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish more people had learned lessons, especially after what we went through with COVID. But it is surprising the number of people who just don't. And the more we talk about it, the more I pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And not even on cruises, just pay attention in the general public. Go like in the restroom in the store. I'm amazed at the number of people that do their business and walk right out the door and never stop and wash their hands. And then they get on cruise ships and they spread it. They touch things. They touch doors and elevator buttons and stairwell handles and everything else. And then people get sick on cruise ships. And then, of course, they come back, well, it's the cruise ship's fault. They don't know. No.
Yeah.
No. So what else we got going on there, baby?
Bjorn says, good evening, everyone. James says, hello, Chris and Tiffany and High Seas Cruisers.
Good evening, James. Welcome to the show. See if Rick's going to hop in here tonight. I had a great opportunity to meet Rick last week. It was super cool to actually meet someone. And then, of course, we're going to meet James here in 3 weeks. It's really cool to get to meet people that we talk to on the channel on a regular basis. Finally get to meet them face to face, put faces to names.
Yes.
I guess it's easier for folks on the other end. They see us, but we don't get to see them. So it'd be super cool when we actually get to see them in person.
Yeah. Did anyone hear how Pajama Gate went?
I have not heard a word about it. Hopefully it went off without a hitch. I'm sure that they went in. I'm sure they had a great time. I highly doubt they caused any, issues or problems for the most part. And I'm pretty sure there were some people that were just snooty in the corner. Having an utter fit. It's another one of those things that just utterly amazes me, the number of people that are so bothered and so concerned about what somebody else is doing that they make it sound like it's ruining their entire vacation based on what someone else does. And there's already stuff coming out of the Jubilee. So the Jubilee, went on her inaugural sailing on the 23rd. Well, as part of the inaugural sailing, they gave every single passenger on board the ship, they gave a cowboy hat. They did. They're like the little straw, not a super expensive thing, but yeah, they were pretty. It was cool looking little hat to get on an inaugural cruise. I'd have worn mine all over that ship.
Yeah, you would have.
I'd have worn it proudly. But there were, I already saw a comment. Well, are these people going to be wearing this like in the dining room? Are you like putting restrictions on it? It's going to, I don't want to eat my dinner having to look at that. That's just the way I just imagine they sound when I read these things. That their entire experience
was ruined over
based on that somebody might be wearing a hat. So for the person that wrote in that comment, I hope to God every single other person in that dining room was wearing the hat.
Yeah.
Because, look, someone wearing a hat, especially on an inaugural cruise where they gave out the hat, that hat is not going to affect the taste of my dinner.
No.
It is not going to affect the company that I would keep on a cruise. No. We're going to sit down. We're going to eat our meal. We're going to enjoy the atmosphere. We're going to have fun at the party. And that hat is just not going to ruin our day. But for some people, it just ruins their absolute day.
Yeah.
Cracks me up.
James says, yes, anxious to cruise and meet you and Tiffany. Awesome.
We were definitely going to be there.
Bjorn says she's already planning her pink bunny suit for next year.
I would. The same pink bunny suit from, what's the movie? Shoot Your Eye Out.
Christmas Story.
The Christmas Story. There you go. Ralphie in his pink bunny suit.
PT says, I'm going Norwegian Gem in June for 7 days, 3 days Bermuda, then Bar Harbor, Maine. Have you ever been to Bermuda or Maine? What can I do there? Both places to have fun. Have you ever been on Norwegian Gem?
Okay. So pretty much it's no to all of those questions. The only place in Maine I've ever been is Bangor, Maine. And that's because that's where the airport is. And actually our first Norwegian cruise, first one ever, is in 21 days. Or 22 days technically, but today's pretty much over. It's 3 weeks from now. It's actually going to be our very first Norwegian cruise. So we haven't even sailed Norwegian, but we'll have a lot more Norwegian information here in 4 weeks because we'll be gone for a month on that. But no, we have not been to Bermuda yet, but there are several people that regularly are in our lives here that would probably be able to tell you good things about Bermuda because they have been. And that's one of the great things about being on our live. Can't speak for everybody's lives, but on our lives, everybody here will share information. If they have it, they're going to share it. and that's what we do here is we just pass along information.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure someone will hop in here and give you all kinds of good information on Bermuda. If anybody's got any information on Bar Harbor and specifically the Norwegian Gem. So, but I'm looking forward to our first attempt at Norwegian.
Yes.
I want to give it a shot, see how it is. I've been reading some comments about the Norwegian Prima specifically recently, and so I'm curious to know if these people are overcritical in their comments, because some of them have not been really positive.
No.
I read several that said that they don't like the layout of the ship, that it's built into multiple smaller venues versus any larger venues. I've heard that there's a lot of waiting lines. I saw some that said it's geared more towards self-service type stuff. You know, when it comes to food, you order from like iPads and things like that. Now, if that's really the case, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
When I go, even if I go into a fast food restaurant and they got the little kiosks there, I like those little kiosks personally. I like them because I can go in, see all the ingredients, customize exactly how I want it, and do exactly how I want it and take my time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I like those kiosks for that reason. I don't think you're a super big fan of them as much.
I don't like technology.
I know you don't really like technology all that much, but for me, I'm a believer in it. So when something becomes technological like that, I enjoy it.
So Bermuda is a snorkeling paradise, and Bar Harbor is a cute town for a walkabout and shopping. Check your ship's excursions for other offerings.
Yeah, I have heard that about tongue-tied. I've heard that about Bermuda. Great for snorkeling. And that's kind of what I thought Bar Harbor might be, but since I've never been there, it's hard to say. Kind of reminds me of maybe what it would be like when we walked around Skagway.
Yeah.
Kind of that small town, walk around, check it out type of feeling.
See the World with Chris says, hey guys, we've never cruised on NCL. Not sure when we will.
So we got to give it a try. I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to pass up the opportunity when Norwegian's actually going to be cruising out of Galveston. So it was a good opportunity to hop on the Prima. And I'd like to know before the Norwegian Viva gets here, because if we really like it, then we're definitely going to book that one as well.
Yeah. Definitely. Alien Frequency says, good evening, Chris and Tiffany. One of these days I'll catch the beginning of your live stream. You're not missing by much, just a few minutes.
Maybe I'll catch the beginning too. It takes a few minutes to wake up. It takes a few minutes to get into the flow of it, where I can just, babble continuously.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay, now your turn to babble continuously.
I can't do that.
So how was your Christmas?
It was good. It was relaxing.
It was relaxing. We did have a nice, relaxing Christmas. Just the two of, one of the kids came by.
Yeah, one of the kids came by.
One of the kids did come by. I will say this, what I really missed about Christmas, and schedules just didn't work out, is not getting to go spend it with the grandbabies.
Yeah.
I think that was but we did get to see lots of pictures, which was really, really good.
California Linda says NCL offers a great cruise in Hawaii on the Pride of America.
Yes. I don't know. I guess I have my own questions about Pride of America.
Okay.
Or my own thoughts. And keep in mind, since I've never done it, I don't actually know the answers. But because Pride of America is an American flag ship and can sail from American port to American port, does not require a foreign port stop. It does also require that 70% of the crew be Americans.
Do you get the same?
Customer service from a crew that's that many Americans versus a crew that's not?
That's a good point. Good question.
That would be my question.
Sailed?
Because I don't know. I notice a huge difference in the way interactions occur that don't involve places in the United States versus places that do on cruise ships that are not staffed by mostly Americans versus places in the States that are. But I've never sailed on Pride of America, so I don't know if that would actually be the case or not. But I am curious to know if there is a difference.
Yeah. See the World with Chris says their next cruise is in 9 days, an 8-day ABC Island cruise on Carnival Horizon.
Oh, 8 days. Well, you definitely got us beat then.
Yes.
You definitely got us beat if you guys are going out in 8 days.
Bajon says, I wanted to clear up something. I said Miami was controlled chaos. There were 8 ships there that day. Inside the terminal was fine. Did I miss something?
Maybe.
And then James wants to know.
You got Linda above it though.
Oh, response: the service was better on NCL than Carnival Triumph. Okay.
The Triumph. Okay, so that was a hot while ago.
Yeah.
Because the Triumph at the time is no longer. They've name changed the Triumph since the Triumph was the Great Poop Cruise.
Oh yeah. And then James is just wondering what your thoughts on Mr. Sancho's and Paradise Beach in Cozumel. Never been to Mr. Sancho's. We keep saying we're going to just so we can say that we've been there and done that and share the experience, but we've never actually done Mr. Sancho's.
Yeah, and she's absolutely right. It's been on our list of things to do, but every time we get there, it's like, oh, but okay, we'll do this first.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. Luckily, we go to Cozumel every time pretty much we sail from Galveston. So it's on the list, I guess is the best thing to say. I know people speak very highly of it.
Yes, and we've had family members that have gone to Mr. Sancho's and they go every time they go to Cozumel and they have a blast. So
yeah, they say it's absolutely great. I've also heard good things about Paradise Beach.
Yeah.
But like I said, we haven't done either. There's so much to do out there. It is so hard to get to each and everything each and every time, especially in Cozumel. We have been to Cozumel bunches and bunches of times and still have not even remotely done everything that's available in Cozumel.
Exactly. Jean cleared it up for us, said that was another chat.
Oh.
And I think I remembered that. It was a few weeks ago. Robert says, sorry I'm late. How are you all? We are doing great.
We're doing good. Welcome to the show.
Connie says, my next cruise in 25 days on the Celebrity Ascent.
Awesome.
Yay. Alien.
Hold on, the dog is pushing the microphone around.
Mrs. Alien and I cruised the Carnival Elation in 11 days, 16 hours and 44 minutes.
Boy, that is counting it down. That is just counting it all the way down.
Yeah, it is. I love it. See the World with Chris. I like Sancho's better food and service. Stick with beer though, because drinks are watered down. Okay. California Linda shares, and that is why the group cruise will be the first time we return to a Carnival cruise.
Us too.
Yeah. James says, I heard that Mr. Sancho's was a good place, thinking that what I will do on this cruise.
That might be an idea.
That's what I was thinking.
That actually could be a good idea, could get us over there. The only thing that we won't get Tiffany to do is get in the water. It'll be cold, and Tiffany won't have anything to do with that whatsoever. Mm-mm. But she is not above sitting in a lounge chair on the beach.
Oh, no.
Especially if they'll give her snacks.
Fresh guacamole, I'm there.
See? Give her some chips and some guacamole and put her in a chair, and she'll be happy all day.
Yes. She'll
just sit there and snack away.
Yeah. Now, I won't snorkel, but I might just,
stick a toe in,
but yeah.
It depends on the temperature of the water.
It does, and it's been so far it's been a pretty warm winter down here, so.
Yeah, and I have not checked the water temperature and everything like that. But maybe this is the opportunity to do Mr. Sancho's.
Yes, maybe.
Because we don't have anything planned in Cozumel.
Yeah. James, you might have talked us into it. Robert says, the wife and I went there and don't getting back the ship from Mr. Sancho's. I've heard that a lot.
I've had a couple of friends that have gone to Mr. Sancho's and wake up in their cabin the next day.
Yes.
Look, we're not those folks, though.
It's exciting to hear about everyone's upcoming cruises.
It is. It's so nice to know that everybody's got them booked, everybody's ready, everybody's counting down the days. It's good for the cruise industry. I mean, Carnival Cruise Lines was already talking that they have, what was it, like 2/3 of all of their bookings or 3/4 of their bookings for 2024 already filled up.
Yeah.
They only have a third. Yeah, they only have a third of their cabins even left available fleet-wide for 2024. So cruise bookings are up, which is great for cruising. Not great for cruise passengers. No, because all of these bookings that are already filled have been booked at the current high prices.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which means people are willing to pay the high prices, and cruise prices are not going to dip anytime soon. Not when they're booking, 2/3 full at current cruise rates.
Yeah. See the World with Chris says grilled shrimp and the whole fried fish for the win at Mr. Sancho's.
Well, you said words that Tiffany likes. Shrimp and fish, guacamole, and a place to sit.
I'm there.
And if she can get one of those good margaritas.
Just one, though.
Yeah.
Just one.
Oh, those really good margaritas you get in Mexico.
Yeah.
Not those Americanized margaritas.
Mm-mm.
Okay, if your margarita comes yellow, your margarita's wrong.
We even had the bartender at Jenny's tell us, I don't know how y'all drink the margaritas in America. They're gross.
I think they're gross too.
So, but yeah.
No, I think they're gross up here too, but you get those ones out of Mexico. Man, they're delicious.
James says, okay, Mr. Sancho's it is.
Mr. Sancho's it is.
California Linda shares that Cozumel's water temperature for today is 82.
Oh, that's still good.
Yes.
You got one above it.
Alien frequency, we've never cruised in northern cold months. Should we expect the waters at Princess Key to be pretty cold in 11 days to the point we shouldn't even plan on getting in the water?
It's going to really depend on your water tolerances. Like Linda just said, currently it's 82 degrees. So it stays warmer in the Caribbean and Mexico than it does here in the United States. Like their heat of the summer is like September, October, and then it begins to slide back down. It was March, the last time I was in the Caribbean when it was cold, and I was at Coco Key, and I got in the water, but it was pretty chilly in March. I've swam in the Bahamas in January. Tiffany didn't like it. I was okay with it. It was a tad on the chillier side. So it really depends on your water tolerances. If you don't like even just a little bit of a chill in the water, you may not like it. If you're okay with it, go for it. Or if you're like Tiffany and, it's not, hot tub temperatures, you may not like it. Yeah. It's really kind of a preference, but it's definitely going to be a little bit chillier than, any other time of year.
Bijan said, is that the yard-long margarita? No.
She has drank that one
I
before,
have drank that one before, too, but that comes out of a machine. But
no. The one that comes in the long cup.
Yeah, it comes out of a machine.
Oh, the frozen one.
Yeah.
No, the margaritas we like are, it's not frozen, but they're clear. They taste more like lemonade, and you get those in Mexico. They don't put the sweet and sour in it.
Yeah.
Which is like an American thing that they put in it. And so they're clear in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And they are dangerously delicious.
Yes. PT says this will be my third time I've been on Norwegian. I've been on Norwegian Getaway and Joy, and now Norwegian Gem, August 2023 Norwegian Joy. I was supposed to go to Bermuda, but the hurricane hit there, so they canceled. And then See the World with Chris says it's never really cold.
Yeah, as I said, I've swam in every month of the year. But like I said, it's a preference thing because there's months that Tiffany does not like. And I honestly think the coldest it's ever been was in March. Mm-hmm. When I went in that March, it was cold in March. Even for me, I still did it, and I'd still do it again. But boy, that first couple of minutes, woo!
Yeah. Alien Frequency says we've cruised in April and the waters were pretty cold, but you get used to it. I was assuming it'd be colder in January.
I think down there it cools a little bit later.
And then California Linda at Alien, it's iffy. Sometimes on the ship it's too cold to enjoy swimming. Laps, a thin skin suit might make it more comfortable. We have not been to Princess Key during the winter.
Yeah, I said I've been on Castaway Key in January.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fine. But like I said, Tiffany didn't. I've been in Cocoa Key in March, and it was definitely cooler in March than it was in January. So.
Alien frequency. Okay, that helps. Thanks, Linda.
I would say take all of your swim gear that you're going to possibly use. Better to have it and not need it than to get there and be like, oh, I really wish I could swim, and then you don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, just go and dip your toe. If it feels good, in you go.
Yeah.
Or just barrel straight into the ocean, and you'll find out when it's neck deep.
And don't just go off of me. I'm weird about water as it is, so.
That's true, too.
I am very weird about water.
Tiffany may not be the absolute best judge as to when the right time to swim is. Because I said she's right. She is absolutely weird when it comes to water. She's absolutely weird when it comes to swimming because she doesn't like to swim. She doesn't like the water. She doesn't like it in her face, doesn't like to get her hair wet. But if you give her a snorkel mask and some fish, she's gone. She'll just be out in the middle of the ocean paddling around without a care in the world. But then be like, you want to get in the pool? I don't like swimming. So.
Good reason to get the spa package on the ship. Water and spa is great. We did do the spa.
Thermal spa.
The thermal spa one time.
On the breeze.
On the breeze. That one was nice.
I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the thermal spa. The problem I had with the thermal spa is we didn't use it enough or want to use it enough for what they charge for it.
Yeah, it was $45 for the day.
Half a day.
Half a day. And you could be in the pool as long as you wanted. You could use the steam rooms, but I don't like steam rooms.
Right. She's so picky weird.
So I like to breathe. I can't breathe in the steam rooms.
I mean, but some of them got some really beautiful thermal suites that I would like to be able to check out more, but they're always to the price now to the point where, you know, if you go in and be like, oh, you know what, I don't really like this. This is not something I would do. It's not like they're going to be, oh, well, we're sorry. Here's your money back.
Yeah.
Cruise lines aren't like that. So a lot of times we'll skip them just for that reason.
Connie says, I don't like steam rooms either. Alien frequency, what's the thermal spa? Or whatever you said.
That's the one where they have like the pool. There's usually like a pool or some special hot tubs in the spa area. And then it depends on which ship and what cruise lines. Some of them have like salt rooms, you know, which is similar to a steam room, but it's salt, ice, steam, dry saunas.
Now, when we were on the breeze, it was a pool, and it was a saltwater pool that was heated, and they had massagers in there, and there was shallow parts and deeper parts that you could just sit in for as long as you wanted to. And then when you got done with that, you could go into the spa or the steam rooms.
And they have, you know, the heated benches that you lay on, like the stone chairs, and they're all heated and things like that. It's all part of the spa. But it's not, you know, they're not in there like trying to massage you or do your hair or your nails or any of that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a therapeutic type thing. I think on the Prima is the one I said that has the ice room or the cold room.
James says, yes, to make this thermal spa worth it, you need to go at least once a day.
Yeah, you got to go to it, and that's been our problem is that we just won't go that often because, you know, it's like squirrel and off we go.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I got to go see this. I didn't know this was over here. And I got to go see this, and I want to go do this. And we're trying to fit so much stuff in there, and taking extra time to relax in the thermal sweat doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Especially since we do our best to never even cruise the same ship twice, which means every cruise ship is basically a brand new experience. And all the times we've cruised, we've only ever cruised the same ship one time. We cruised the Breeze twice, and that's because it was a graduation birthday present.
Yeah.
And so every ship is new for us. It's a new experience, new stuff to see. Maybe once we get through multiple ships and we re-cruise a cruise ship, or we're on it for a long time, like when we do the Regal Princess, which is our goal to do that one, a 28-day sailing on Regal for the British Isles, then we have time to actually chill out and relax because we'll more than have seen the whole ship in 28 days.
Jean says the sauna, then the cold room will wake you up in the morning. Yeah, it would. Alien frequency. Oh, okay. Do you guys ever buy massage services? My wife has done it before. I don't think I could lay in one spot without moving for that long. No, we've never done the massage services.
Tiffany keeps saying she wants to, but she never has. Me personally, I'm not a super big fan of a stranger touching me a whole lot.
Plus, it's very expensive. So, yeah.
Yeah, Tiffany also has a hard time treating herself. If I go buy her a massage and don't tell her about it, she'll go. But if she has to, even though it's the same account, if she had to go do it herself, she won't go. But she's had opportunities and she's thought about doing it. Maybe you'll do it on one of your upcoming cruises.
Not likely, but okay. California Linda responds, the thermal spa is awesome for water exercise, not swimming laps. I agree with Tiffany. The various showers I dislike, but the heated lounges and heated towels are very nice. Yes, those are nice.
Yes.
NCL Breakaway has an ice bar, says Bruce.
Yes, I've read about that one, and I was really hoping that the Prima had one on there, but she doesn't.
He really wants to go to an ice bar.
I do. We saw one when we were in Vegas. They had an ice bar, but it was closed.
Yes.
Because we were there in the height of COVID. So we didn't get to go into that one. And other than that, I've never come across an ice bar.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, in the Breakaway, I want to say it's the Breakaway, is coming to Galveston. Between the Prima and the Viva, I think we're getting the Breakaway for a while. I would book the Breakaway, provided we like NCL.
Yeah. But
I would book it just to go into an ice bar. I just think that would be fun to experience to do once that we've just absolutely never done.
Bruce says, I didn't shave my back. I thought I was a polar bear.
Well, alrighty. But yeah, I boy, that puts an image in your head.
James says, tip, don't go in and use the thermal spa heated loungers after you had a few drinks. It will put you to sleep. I know from experience.
You wouldn't get more than a drink into Tiffany anyway.
No.
You'll find out we are not big alcohol drinkers at all. When we were on the Discovery, no, Voyager of the Seas. We drank more on the Voyager of the Seas than we did on any other cruise because of the Irish trash can.
Yes, the Irish trash can.
The Irish trash can thing got us drinking.
Bruce says, folks thought. Alien frequency, ice bar. I'm picturing a bar actually carved out of ice. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Nope, you were completely right.
Yep. They give you warm jackets when you come in, and everything's made out of ice.
The bar is made out of ice. The chairs are made out of ice. And your glasses are just made out of ice. And it is sub-zero, temperature inside that bar. But no, it's a bar made out of ice. So your thought is absolutely correct. And that's why I just think it would be,
yep.
That would just be cool.
Bruce said, Eddie Money saying, babe, hold on to me.
Bruce is on a roll tonight.
California Lynette Bruce.
But yeah, so I would definitely try an ice bar. That's something. That's one of those cruising experiences.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have some on the Prima. There's going to be some things on the Prima that we've never done, and it might be silly, but you know what? I'm going to ride go-karts on the Prima. Go-karts at sea. Are you going to ride go-karts at sea? Or are you just going to watch go-karts at sea?
I'm going to attempt to record it.
So you guys may not see go-karts at sea.
Alien frequency, so you have to wear snow pants, I guess, so the seats don't soak through to your undies as you sit.
They give you
long jackets.
Yeah, they give you something to wear when you go in. They'll dress you. You have to wear like their Arctic outfit basically to go in there, and they provide that. You don't have to even have to bring that.
James said, I was on a cruise and had a beach day. Went in after back on the ship and was snoring like a baby. The staff was laughing their butts off when they woke me up.
Now that I believe, because if I was to spend a full day on shore doing all the walking that we do, because typically, especially if we're self-touring, it is not uncommon for us to come back and have done 6, 7, 8 miles in port. Yeah, if I was to come back and go into the thermal suite and take a soak in the hot tub, a little steam, and then lay on one of those heated loungers, I'd be out.
Yeah, you would.
I'd
be recording the snoring.
And yeah, if I'm laying on my back, I am going to snore. So I'm sure others would get quite an amount of amusement out of it, especially Tiffany, because she would record it. She'd be like, "Oh, look, here's the live button. Look what he's doing." And she would.
I would figure out how to go live there. James says they are really nice.
Yeah. Well, that is one thing that I have definitely become quite happy with doing on my cruising. I have no problem with the afternoon nap.
No, you don't.
I have no problem with it, especially coming from port. Got a little bit of time maybe before the ship leaves, because I like to be outside when the ship is leaving. Entering port and departing port, you'll find me somewhere on an outside railing, somewhere where I can watch. I'm just utterly fascinated with it. I love it, even when we're going into ports that we've been into multiple times. But even this trip into Cozumel is going to be a little different than normal. We should be docking at the downtown port. And we haven't been to the downtown port where we could freely walk around since 2017, 2018. So it's been a while since we've even been to that particular area in Cozumel.
Yeah.
So
no Roberto this time.
No, not unless we go all the way back down to the other end.
Yeah. Now we're talking Mr. Sancho's.
Right.
So.
As long as I got time to film the port before we go do Mr. Sancho's or after, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I'll wander off to do that.
Yes.
Because anytime we're in port, actually pretty much anytime we're on a ship, you'll see me. I'm walking around. I got a camera somewhere on my body. In my pocket, in my hand, in Tiffany's pocket.
Connie says, me too, afternoon nap. I like to be refreshed to fully enjoy the evening shows.
Yeah. When we first started cruising, you would never catch me taking a nap. It was constantly go, 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 go. But now, the more we've done it, well, you get that afternoon time, and you go in there just a little bit. And I'm asleep. And then Tiffany's like watching TV. Tiffany's not big on the afternoon nap yet.
If I take an afternoon nap, I don't want to leave the room. Alien Frequency says, I saw your video where you were in Cozumel. I want to check it out someday. The food looked great.
Oh, yeah. Love the food in Mexico. I love it, love it, love it. The only thing I'll say on that is leave the cruise port. If you're in Cozumel and you want to eat, go outside of the cruise port and find some place that's not a chain restaurant. So don't go to your Fat Tuesdays, your Margaritavilles, your Senor Frogs.
Now, we have done that, but we do find that we enjoy the food outside of the port a lot.
Yeah, nothing wrong with those places. We've been to those places. They're fun, but if you want to, get some good eating in, leave the port. Go to a non-chain place, and I think you'll have a better food experience.
California Linda shares, I consider the thermal spa a treat for me and an expensive excursion that I am able to enjoy every day.
Yeah, it is an expensive excursion. I will give you that.
And then Queet Beat says, hello, everyone. And Alien Frequency, is the water safe to drink in Cozumel?
They give you bottled water.
Yeah.
They'll give you bottled water and all of that kind of stuff. I don't, and I guess I don't actually know this, but when they make your coffee, where do they get the water from?
I'm sure out of the tap.
I don't know. So we go out of the port and we've had drinks out of the port, not like a glass of water, but we've had drinks. Tiffany gets coffees out of the port all the time. There's got to be, they make coffee with the water.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you asked that question, I don't actually know where that water came from that they make her coffees with, but no one's ever gotten sick from it.
No.
So I don't know that means, you go up to the nearest faucet and fill your cup up with water. I don't know that I would do that.
Well, and I've drank the water at the restaurants too, and they bring me a glass of water, and I didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's bottled or filtered because it comes in a glass like it does at any other restaurant.
Mm-hmm. I would say yes.
Yeah. I've never had a problem with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never made us sick in any way, shape, or form. I just can't honestly say exactly the source of every water we've had there. And I actually didn't even think about it until just now.
Good evening. Heading out next week with RC to Cozumel, our first cruise. Are you able to recommend a private tour of the island so we have a drive tour guide? Thanks.
Okay, so first cruise ever. Okay. If it is your absolute first cruise ever and your first time going to Cozumel, they have tours available through the cruise lines. I'm going to recommend for your very first time that you take an excursion through the cruise line, simply because you have a guarantee that you will get back to the ship before the ship leaves, and the ship won't leave without you. For a first-time cruiser, go through there and find one of and they do have private van tours that are available, so you can take just your small group, get a van or a taxi all to yourself, still through the cruise line. But can you put them out, please? But do that because of that guarantee you get back to the ship. They'll take care of you. Being a first-time cruiser, do it that way. That way you just know you're better off. You know you're safer. Get used to cruising. Get used to going to foreign cruise ports and how everything works before you venture off on your own. Now, that's just my advice. You do you. You do however you want to do it. You can get off the ship there and you can get a private tour. They'll have vendors and everything else right there at where the taxis and everything are, and you're free to go off on your own. I just would not recommend that for the first time.
Where are you at?
We're down there. I'm still. We got a couple in there.
Yeah. So See the World with Chris says Cozumel water is filtered better, and heated water like coffee is not an issue. Robert says the water is filtered on the port. Do not drink it anywhere else. Alien Frequency, so generally safe, but maybe don't fill my water bottle at a mud puddle on the sidewalk.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't do that either. All I can honestly say about the water is we've eaten in restaurants and everything outside of the cruise port in the public side, and we've never had an issue or problem. But these restaurants want you to come back. They want the tourists. They want the business. They want the cruise passengers. They're not going to serve you nasty, tainted water that's going to make you sick because you're going to tell your friends and you're not going to go back to that restaurant. And they depend on our business. That tourism dollar is mighty, mighty powerful, and they make sure that you're willing and wanting to come back. So I think you would have to drink from something you probably should be able to look at and go, not for me.
Yeah.
I think is probably, common sense wise when it comes to water.
Pamela says, we were looking at private tours on RC website. Thank you for confirming that choice for us. You both are awesome.
Yeah, I said, I'd hate for you guys to get out there and have a really horrible experience on your first cruise. It will taint your future cruising experience. Get yourself a private tour or a small bus tour or something through the cruise lines.
Yeah.
Even if you get one that's in a taxi, the taxis only hold like 6-7 people, 8 people if you kind of cram in there. They're not like big giant. They're like little minivan type things. Mm-hmm. Maybe find one that does a hop on and off or a photo op one that you can get off. And if you're going there with Royal Caribbean, you're going to be at the middle cruise port because there's 3 in Cozumel. There's quite a big cruise port area. And like I said, you can walk right outside the door, the front entrance of the cruise port when you get there. And there's stuff right there across the street. You can walk to the left or to the right. And even one of our favorite restaurants, when you walk out, you look to the right, it's going to be across the street diagonal from the cruise port. It's a little 2-story building. You'll know you're at the right restaurant because they'll have bowls that are like this big sitting out front that they put drinks in. Mm-hmm. That's where Roberto is.
Yes.
And even if you just do it that way. But yeah, that's my best recommendation. Is always, especially for a first timer, go through the
cruise line. James says that's really good advice, Chris, for first time cruisers. Bijan says we waited at least an hour for a tour group to return at Cozumel, and we have left people on the dock. Go through the cruise line for your first time.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just the pad your bets kind of a solution.
Yeah. James says, Pamela, also the vendors are pretty aggressive. We'll try to sell you everything. Yes, they can get very aggressive.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really good advice there, James. I hadn't even thought about that one yet. If you've never been to Mexico before, do be prepared that you're going to get a lot of that. Come in my shop, come look, come in. Remember, anything you don't want to do, anything you don't want to see, you just say, no, thank you. And you keep right on walking. That is how you get out of it each and every time. Just know that they are going to try to get you in. They're going to try to hand you stuff. Especially, they're going to be like, when you go by like the jewelry shops and the makeup shops, they're going to try to hand you little sample packets to try to get you to come in. They will try to get you to taste tequila at 8:00 in the morning. Things like that. And anything you don't want to do, just say no thank you and don't do it. Anything you don't want to take, say no thank you and don't take it.
So Alien says we're definitely seeking out Roberto if we ever make it to Cozumel. He is awesome.
We love ourselves some Roberto.
Yes. Pamela, thank you very much for the super sticker.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Alien says, James, that's how Nassau is too. The sales pitches are too much for me. Yeah.
Yeah, Nassau's rough too. And I think Nassau is pushier than Cozumel.
Yes. And a lot more expensive too. Pamela says it's 5:00 somewhere, and they'll tell you that's Mexican breakfast.
Yeah, they will tell you the tequila is for breakfast in Mexico.
Yeah.
But if you are a tequila drinker and you want to buy tequila, do not buy it in the cruise port. Okay, go outside to buy tequila. And if that's something you're interested in, I can give you a couple places, and I can definitely tell you where I go to buy my tequila in Mexico. And I don't even like tequila unless I buy it in Mexico, because in Mexico it is just delicious.
Yes.
It is utterly delicious.
James said, yes, Nassau is worse than Mexico. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When it comes to the pushiness, I completely agree. You go in the straw market area there in Nassau, or where it used to be. I haven't been since they opened up the new port. The one that was right in there, they can be kind of pushy in there.
Mm-hmm.
And a little rough. And I know a lot of you guys heard the story. The very first time I ever took Tiffany cruising, and she had never been to a foreign country like that.
No.
And she went through the flea market area, the straw market area there in Cozumel. And when that morning was over, she never wanted to cruise again. She never wanted to go to Cozumel again, never even wanted to cruise again because of how they were.
Yeah.
Now, me, I'd been overseas with the military and things like that, so I was accustomed to how business is conducted outside of the United States. And it's conducted like that pretty much everywhere I've always been. It's a bargaining barter, come in, take a look. You know, they want to sell it to you, and they come across as very, very pushy. And if you're not used to it, it's a culture shock.
It is.
Now she's a pro.
Now I just put my hat on. Make sure you don't wear anything with your name on it either, because they'll call you by name. But yeah, just put your hat on, your sunglasses, and keep looking forward. Tell them no thank you. Pamela says, thanks, James, for the heads up regarding vendors. We're accustomed to ignoring them.
Yep. And then that's all you got to do. And that's all you got to do. I completely understand that they are there to make money and support their family, and that's how they get their business. I completely get that. And there are vendors that I look for and vendors that we use for different things. But for us personally, jewelry shops and things like that have no interest to us whatsoever. There's ones out there that they make beautiful products, but I'm not on a cruise to buy leather goods or pretty much any of that type of thing.
Yeah.
So you got to just kind of, boop, sorry, no thank you.
Alien says, and maybe don't wear expensive jewelry on some of these ports like Nassau. That is a very good tip too. Don't be flashy. Don't be sporting your name brand purses or shoulder bags or backpacks or anything like that.
Well, personally, I would never take that sort of stuff with you on shore anyway. I would not take your expensive purse. I honestly wouldn't even take your purse.
No.
Something you can keep tight to your body, something you can stick in the front pocket where they can't pickpocket you, that kind of thing. Doesn't happen very often, but it can happen at any of the cruise ports that you visit.
Keep your wallet in your front pocket, etc. California Linda says, Pamela, the shops closest to the ship are also more expensive in souvenirs and pure vanilla. A few blocks down, the stores will sell the same products at a lower price.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And as I said, we don't buy too much inside the cruise port, particularly in Cozumel. We love to go outside of the port. Mm-hmm. And we have met some of the best people and had the absolute best experiences shopping outside of the ports.
Yes.
Than we've ever had shopping inside of the ports. Because you get outside of the port and you ask, and it doesn't even matter what you're looking for. We were there looking for, Tiffany needed a hairbrush. The one cruise, she forgot her hairbrush. So we asked one shop, do you guys sell hairbrushes? They did not. But of course, they have a cousin who has a store. And boy, they will walk you to that store and see that you get a hairbrush. And it's been like that for everything we've ever been looked for down there.
Yeah, it has. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Alien said this could be a good tips with Tiffany, being safe in ports. That's a very good idea. There we go.
There you go.
The Viagra salesmen are the worst. I haven't run across them.
No, they're in the pharmacies is normally where we see that.
Yeah. Pamela at Linda, we're there to experience true Cozumel, not touristy Cozumel. We always support local family-owned farms and businesses. Yes.
Yeah. And the stuff is just better, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. We've had better luck with taste, better luck with quality, and everything like that by doing it that way when we visit cruise ports.
Yes.
And you'll tell, because you'll be in the cruise port and you can tell the stuff that's shipped in from China. It'll say Cozumel, Mexico on it, and you flip it upside down, it says made in China. You can honestly tell what's good and what's bad by looking at it. So, but yeah, no, it sounds like Pamela's got it all set, ready to go, and is not going to have any issues or problems. There's Rick.
Yeah, Rick says good evening.
Evening, Rick. We were just talking about you a little while ago.
Linda says, Pamela, we so agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a tips I did a tips from Tiffany about buying local and supporting the families and the businesses. We've come across rum cake. You know, you can always buy the Tortuga. Is it Tortuga rum cakes? But when we were in Roatan, they were making the rum cakes just like 5 miles down the road. So, and they tasted a lot better than the Tortuga ones. So.
Yeah, I don't even like the Tortuga ones, not after eating the local stuff like that.
Yeah. Connie says, I don't think safety at ports is talked about enough. That would be a great tips from Tiffany. I will work on that. Rick said, I really enjoyed meeting you last week.
No, yeah, that's actually what we were talking about earlier too. I was mentioning that yeah, it's really cool when you get to actually meet someone face to face. Because I said, people that watch the show know what I look like, but it's really cool when I get to put a face to a name. Mm-hmm. We've had all these conversations, in this type of situation, getting to actually see someone face to face makes it that much better.
Yeah. Alien Frequency said, we had a lady selling wood carvings at Grand Turk telling us where to buy drugs, which is not our thing. We just kind of awkwardly laughed it off and said, oh yeah, and left it up at that. We had somebody in Nassau trying, as the cop was approaching.
Yeah, guy stopped and tried to sell us some drugs, and we were like, no, and as we walked off, here comes the cop around the bushes after him.
And in Jamaica.
Did we have that in Jamaica?
Yeah, they were offering to sell you a joint.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, remember, it's legal in Jamaica if you're standing with the Bob Marley statue. Isn't that what they said?
Yeah. Yeah, I would double check that though before you light up.
We'll double check that. But apparently, if you're at the Bob Marley Museum with the Bob Marley statue, it's legal in Jamaica to have one.
Yes.
That's what our guide keeps telling us. Now, whether or not that's accurate information or, you're going to get in trouble if you do that.
Yeah.
Please don't take anything I say as gospel when it comes to doing that in Jamaica.
I think I met the same guy in Nassau.
Probably.
We were at a park.
Yeah, we were standing in the park when we saw that guy. But then we also had an escaped mental patient stop and talk to us in Nassau one time. Didn't do anything. He was just kind of babbled incoherently. He was dressed in like a hospital gown, and we were like, okay. And then he kept on down the street. Then a couple minutes later, here come like the police, like escaped mental patient guy. Oh, yeah, he put that away. We saw him, and off they went. We've had some of our weirdest encounters have been in Nassau.
Yeah. Alien Frequency said, what? Someone had a joint in Jamaica? The hell you say?
So strange. So strange.
Is the get together in Galveston still on?
Absolutely.
18th,
absolutely. The 18th. Yeah, what time you guys want to meet on the 18th? I figure maybe we do lunch, 11, 12, 1 o'clock-ish, somewhere in that area, at the spot, the 18th. Yeah, no, definitely still on. None of those plans have changed. Dogs are whining at the door. But yeah, so I think some of our absolute weirdest encounters have probably been in Nassau, Bahamas. They really have.
Yeah.
Nassau is absolutely wild. First cruise I ever went on, ever, way back in 2006, stopped in Nassau, Bahamas. Now, I made every dumb cruiser mistake, new cruiser, first-time cruiser mistake that can possibly be made, I made on that particular cruise. Long before I understood research and all the stuff we know now. But I hopped off that ship in Nassau, said, yo, you know what? I'm going to get a scooter. I'm going to rent one of these scooters, and I'm going to go riding around on the island. I don't know how many times I almost died. Because if you have never, ever had to drive on the left-hand side of the road, that is so weird feeling. And it just, driving on the left and the way you have to turn and go around the traffic circles, it just confused my brain so bad that I probably almost caused accidents all over the island. Then I got lost on the island. Then I had to ask for directions to get back. I'm so surprised I didn't miss the ship. I didn't leave without me. I wasn't one of those stories about look at the dummy who didn't make it back. None of that happened, but I ran over a snake. And I had my daughter with me the whole time who's standing up and down, bouncing up and down on the scooter, excited because we're running over snakes. But yeah, the driving is Nassau.
California, Linda said, are the ABC Islands being considered for the group cruise?
They can be.
Yeah.
So far, all we've decided is Carnival, Caribbean, and probably like January, February cruise time, because everybody kind of went for the winter cruise. Maybe we'll back that up. I'm thinking maybe we might back that up to slightly warmer weather, only because if people want to be able to swim, I think they should have the temperature opportunity. And I think we'll be able to get it a little less expensive if we get away from the holidays. I mean, we'll probably get it pretty cheap if we go in like January, but I think that might limit some of our excursion options that everybody might want to do.
Yeah.
So we might back that up. But yeah, I've got no issues with the ABC Islands. I'm good with that. Mm-hmm. We haven't been, so cool by us.
Alien Frequency said, Chris, when you first started cruising, were they still seating folks with strangers in the MDR? They still do that.
Yeah, they still do that. But my very first cruise was on Disney because I was taking one of the kids with me. And this was 6 years before I'd even met Tiffany. So it was on the Disney Wonder. And I'm trying to remember if I sat with straight. It was so long ago. I don't think so, though. Remember, Disney does the MDR different.
Yeah.
But we might have. But that was a hot minute ago.
James says, I will leave that up to you guys. I will be in Galveston on the 17th, so what's best for you on the 18th is good. Rick said, I twisted my ankle on Dunn's River Falls the last time I climbed it over 10 years ago. That doesn't sound like fun.
No.
Linda says, yay. Pamela says, I discovered your channel yesterday researching full ship tour, Royal Caribbean, Radiance of the Seas. Because of your channel, I feel prepared. Much appreciated.
Oh, you are absolutely welcome. And thank you for finding us. Thank you for watching the videos. I do try to do some very thorough full ship tours. It's one of those things that made me start the channel is I wanted a full ship tour that showed all of the ship. I didn't find a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And so I try to make my full ship tours every single part of the ship I can possibly get into just for that reason.
Yeah.
Those are kind of some of like my most proud videos, I guess.
Alien says, oh, we've never had to sit with strangers. I was going to say I'd hate that. My wife and I are both introverts. The first time it happened to us was on Carnival, and the couple they sat us with didn't eat in the dining room until the very last night, and they were the same way we were. They were like not into it at all.
Yeah, they were not very nice folks, I guess is the nicest way to say it.
Chris says, when I first started cruising, you had to help row the boat.
And we have to get where we're trying to go.
In the early years of cruising, we always sat with strangers, became friends with some we didn't, but nothing bad.
We've only had, we sit with strangers sometimes.
It's just hard for Chris because he can't hear very well. So he feels like he's not part of the conversation, and he feels like they think he's rude. So it's really hard.
Yeah, because we get into, especially if you go to like a Carnival and you get those big tables and everybody sits around it and the people are talking, I don't hear half of what they say. And so they can be talking to me and I have no idea what's going on. And I think I come across as rude sometimes because I guess they think I'm ignoring them. And Tiffany's doing her best to try to be a part of the conversation and talk in my ear to tell me what's being said to me. Or she's answering for me, which I guess even comes across worse in some cases. So a lot of times we don't sit tables, with a whole bunch of strangers just for that reason, I don't think I come across very well. And I'm not trying to be like that. That's why I tell everybody, if you see me on a ship and Tiffany's with me, call Tiffany's name. Not because I don't care, because I won't hear you. And if you see me by myself, you're just going to have to tap me on the shoulder sometimes, because I may not hear you.
Yeah.
And if people don't know that, I think I come across as a jackass. And I'm not trying to. I think I got to get a shirt that says, I can't hear you.
Yeah. California Linda at Pamela, check the webpage of High Seas Cruising for information on group cruise. Many of us have been talking for years. Chris has excellent full ship tours.
Thank you.
Robert says, we don't like sitting with strangers. That is why we ask for a table for two. We normally ask for a table for two, but there's been a couple times when I don't know, they didn't get the memo.
It happens to us every once in a while. And another thing too is I like to take videos at the dinner table. I like to take pictures at the dinner table. One of those weirdos that takes pictures of the food and stuff for the channel. And not everybody at the table always appreciates that. It's kind of like the hats at the table. I pull out the camera. Now I've ruined, Mr. and Mrs. Stick in the High Knees evening, and their whole cruise is ruined and their dinner's ruined. And so sometimes a private table helps out with that.
Alien says, so wait, have we not been sat with strangers because we always had 4 people? Next month it's going to just be my wife and I. So does that mean we might be sat with strangers in a booth? Possibly. I would definitely ask for a private table if that's what you're worried about.
Okay, yeah, and a lot of the cruise lines too, like Carnival, especially if you're doing, what does Carnival call it? Anytime dining. You actually have the option to select the type of table you want. A private table or a table with, a bigger table with strangers and stuff like that. If you're ever concerned about it, like if you have set time dining, simply go down and see the maitre d'. Once you get on board the ship, request a table for 2 people and they will accommodate you if at all possible.
Connie says, if you tell people right away that you can't hear well, most will understand. On my last cruise, one of my table mates was hard of hearing and we did fine. His wife sort of interpreted for us.
That's usually what happens, but from the not being able to hear very well part, you kind of also feel a little left out because you really have no idea what's even going on around the table.
Yeah.
So
Rick says, I'm like you, Chris. You and I will talk a little loud.
Oh, I will. I do. Unfortunately, I get loud, and according to Tiffany, I say what a lot. If I don't hear something, I say what, and yeah. So I try to be honest and upfront. If I say what a whole lot, or if it sounds like I'm yelling, it's just because I talk louder and things like that. I try to tell people up that front because Tiffany says I can come across harsh to strangers sometimes, and I'm not trying to.
Bruce says that's why we like NCL Freestyle. They give you your own table. Pamela says, do we hear a puppy? Yes. Yes, you hear the puppy.
You show the puppy.
Rick says we don't go to the MDR much anymore. We mainly go to specialty dining restaurants occasionally when Jimmer.
We have gotten more and more where we have stopped going to the MDR nearly as much as we used to. We usually like to check it out, try it out. At least once. Okay, here we go. Here's puppies. The puppies will have to make their show appearance. There's something wrong with this one.
I wear 2 hearing aids, so I really can't hear.
What?
The puppy wants to be petted.
Yes.
Pamela says the puppy wants camera time. Alien says, okay,
they usually get some.
We're doing anytime dining, definitely using a table for 2.
Yeah, so if you're doing the anytime dining, I saw it last time I was on there when you go in to select your dining time and stuff like that, you can request a table for 2. I've used that on Carnival. And for anytime dining, that's a really nice feature. Mm-hmm. And I think I've seen it on Royal Caribbean. I want to say I've seen it there as well. Yeah. So, yeah, and it makes it nice for those that are introverted or just don't want to say what all dinner.
Linda says, we have found eating in a group often delays evening entertainment plans. Unless you are with friends, the waiter waits for all to finish prior to beginning the next course. That is true.
That is true. Yep, that's actually a very good point too.
So adorable.
Yeah, the puppies are a channel favorite.
Yes. Robert says NCL is the same.
Good. Yeah, and we'll definitely be seeing that here in a couple days. 3 weeks. I keep saying a couple days. I'm hoping it's tomorrow because I'm ready to go.
Rick says on Royal, we always go anytime and get a table for 2 when we go.
But, even with the upcoming Norwegian cruise, I said we're probably going to try out the main dining room at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we can give an opinion on Norwegian's main dining room. But there's so many other venues that we've seen on the Prima that look very interesting to try that I don't know if we'd get to the main dining room more than once.
Yeah.
Gonna have to kind of play that one by ear, but I do want to at least check it out one time.
See, on Royal, there are always so many good free dining options on Carnival. I don't use the MDR much. Good to hear that tip at Rick. Thanks. See the World of Chris. We found that asking for all appetizers to be brought at once and all entrees at once saves time.
Yeah, usually if we go to the main dining room, honestly, we don't go in a hurry ever. We're fully okay with the however long it takes experience if we go there. We make sure we just really don't plan anything around it. Usually if we're going to a show or something like that, that'll be one of the nights that we'll go to the buffet or a different restaurant. This is the problem with letting the puppies in. They then feel the need to growl and play right underneath the microphone.
But that's okay.
Yeah. They just haven't quite grasped the, be good when you're in the studio philosophy.
Robert says the wife likes the buffet better than the MDR.
A lot of times I do too, because I don't, and honestly these days too, I've noticed a lot of the cruise lines, and I think it's part of their food waste and cost savings, that a lot of times what's being served in the MDR is now what's being served in the buffet.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you just want to sit down and have that dining room experience, you can get the same food in the buffets now.
Yeah.
And it's all about saving the money. Why, they don't make 2 menus anymore. Now they make 1 menu and serve it in 2 locations. We've seen that more and more.
Yeah. Rick says, I love the Brazilian restaurant on Allure. I wish more ships had it. I haven't seen the Brazilian one.
You haven't been on the Allure either.
No, I haven't.
I was on the Allure. I did see the Brazilian one. I didn't eat there though.
Alien says, I'd be fine having guys and pizzas for dinner, but Mrs. Alien likes dressing up and going to MDR, which is fine with me because she's absolutely lovely.
Luckily, Tiffany does not like dressing up. So I don't have to do that, because that's another one that the more cruises we go on, the more elegant and formal nights we skip.
Yes.
I've noticed that too. We are less concerned about formal nights and more about just the being there.
Rick says, totally agree, Chris. Windjammer always has the same menu.
Yeah, and that's been something that especially since the restart and since they've gone into this money-saving, food waste things that the cruise lines have been doing, you're seeing the same things in both.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're going to see on the dinner menu for the MDR is exactly what you're going to find in the buffets.
See the world with Chris. Is it true that the buffet has the same foods mostly, but in the MDR it hasn't sat out under a lamp and dried out as much? Temps are usually better in the MDR. Or it is true that the buffet has the same foods.
The buffets do have the same foods now. That's what we're seeing is the most common trend. As far as food temperatures, yes, you could have stuff that's been out under a heat lamp longer in the buffet than obviously you would in the MDR. But I wouldn't say it was drastic because remember the MDR is not made fresh; it's banquet style. So it's, they're down there making up 50 plates of, 100 plates of whatever they're serving, and you're going to get one of those plates. So usually, yes, I would say it's probably a better bet that the MDR is going to be slightly fresher, but it's not like it's going to be night and day difference, I don't think. Not when it's banquet style versus buffet style. Not like the difference you'd get in a specialty restaurant where it's made to order.
Robert R says most of ships are doing away with the dress up nights. Robert W says after 12 cruises, we don't dress up anymore. The buffet is just fine. Pizza and beer is good too.
Exactly. We've done the dress up. We've got the pretty picture back here of Tiffany and I dressed up in front of the staircase. We've been there. We've done that. We've done it with the kids.
It's a good way to get a family picture.
And that's why Tiffany actually made us do it the couple of times we did do it. It's just, that was the way she could get us all together, dressed up in front of a camera and get her family pictures. And once she got her family pictures, she didn't care anymore. So on a cruise where we take the grandbabies or, some of the kids that have never been, she might make me do it again.
Yeah, we'll have a formal night.
Then we'll have a formal night. She'll put it on me again. But yeah, other than that, I'm lucky I wear pants on a cruise. I wear shorts. I don't walk around with nothing. But I try not even to wear pants.
Totally agree, Robert. I take a suit but never put it on. See? California, Linda at Alien, you're awesome. We also enjoy the MDR and request a table for two and enjoy meeting the couples on the left and the right of us. We've done that a couple times. Mm-hmm. Alien says, I understand not wanting to dress up. It's not my thing either, but she likes it and I oblige for her.
Oh, no, I completely get that.
He does too when I want to.
Mm-hmm. If Tiffany wants to, we will. And I always ask her, I said, are you going to want to do formal night or something on this cruise? I ask her ahead of time. Because I'm the same way. If she wants to do it, absolutely we'll do it. I'm not going to take away from her cruise experience. But if she says no, you're not going to hear me complain.
Alien says, I'm more awesome after I've had a couple adult beverages.
We've had fun sitting at group tables.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of fun. We were on the... But sometimes you can have a lot more fun with the servers at the group tables, I think. What ship were we on? The Vista, right?
Yes.
Was it the Vista? No, it was the Breeze. It was the Breeze. We were on the Breeze. Now, for Carnival, I've got a thing for the Baked Alaska on the last night in the MDR. I will go to the MDR on Carnival the last night just to get that Baked Alaska. So I went in there one time, and she comes over and she's like, okay, what would you like for your entree or your appetizer? I said Baked Alaska. And for my main course, I'd like Baked Alaska. And for my dessert, I'd like Baked Alaska. And she was like, no, sir. No, you cannot have those things for all three. You have to eat food first. I was like, okay. So I ate my food, and dessert came around. She's like, let me guess, you want Baked Alaska? I'm like, yeah, I want Baked Alaska. You know what? I want the whole Baked Alaska. She brought me an entire Baked Alaska still on fire.
Yes, she did.
Careful what you ask for.
Yes.
You get a good server like that. Yeah, so I had an entire Baked Alaska still on fire when she brought it to me to the table.
See the World with Chris says the last couple times we ate at Carnival Steakhouse on the Excel class ships, we have not been as happy as on the smaller ships like the Vista or Valor. Hope this time on the Horizon is good. I like that AF Martial Harmony. Marital Harmony. See the World with Chris. I like the Baked Alaska.
I do too.
I was going to try to attempt to remake that until I saw how long it took.
That's just because you have to leave it in the freezer forever.
Yeah. We love getting to know our servers too. We always ask for the same one every night, and hugs are given all around by the last night of the cruise. Yes. California Linda, I will file that in my memory for the group cruise.
Servers are great until you try to give them a bottle of wine.
Yes.
We were on the Vista.
No, we were on the Breeze. It was when we won the VIP.
See, it's always the Breeze. We're on the Breeze, and we had won VIP status on the ship. And so they kept giving us bottles of wine. We don't drink wine. We spent half the cruise trying to give that dang bottle away.
Yes.
We tried to give it to every crew member on that ship. And you always hear stories of the cruise members will take it to the crew bar, but they did not want that wine.
They did not want that wine. What was up with the wine then?
I don't know. I think it has something to do with they were not supposed to take that sort of thing from passengers.
Yeah. Pamela wants to know, do you have a favorite cruise and what made it stand out from the others?
Ooh, see, someone always asks that hard question. That is such a hard question. We cruise with such happiness and look for such positive things for every cruise we go on. We're not those point at the negative type of people. Oh, so I'll let Tiffany answer because she has a favorite ship and she has a reason why it's her favorite ship.
Mine is the Disney Fantasy because that was my very first cruise, and that was one that I got to share with the kids and Chris, and it was just, for me, that's what turned me on to cruising.
For me, I would have to say that my favorite cruise, and it would have to be the Carnival Ecstasy. I was on the very last sailing of the Carnival Ecstasy out of Mobile, Alabama. I found out that I really, really liked the fantasy class ships, and boy, they took that ship out with a party. She went out with a bang. Mm-hmm. Carnival's brand ambassador, John Heald, was on board. There were some other vloggers on board the ship, and that cruise was just, she is going out in style party. And I really love that ship, and I don't know, that's probably got to be one of my favorite cruises. It just went to Cozumel and stuff like that, but the overall cruise, the vibe, we're going to send this ship off, with love and style, and her last cruise is she's going to rock the ocean, was kind of the whole theme of the cruise.
Yeah.
It was a good party. That's what I would have to say is probably one of my favorites. But then again, I've loved every cruise I've been on.
Yeah.
Alaska on the Discovery Princess was spectacular. That's such a hard question to answer. Every one of the ships we've been on has had something good to offer. Every cruise line we've sailed on has had something good to offer. Every cruise port we visited has had something good to offer to make people want to go there, mm-hmm. make us want to go back there. God, it is so hard to pick.
Jordan says, I hope you gave her a good review. We absolutely did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Rick says, my favorite cruise so far was a 13-day repositioning of Liberty of the Seas from New Jersey to Galveston. Every stop was awesome.
Yeah, see, that just sounds like an awesome cruise, and I wasn't even on it, and I would think that would be a great cruise.
Alien says, was it dry red wine, Chris? I don't blame them. If so, that stuff tastes like magic marker.
Honestly, I don't even know. We don't drink wine and know absolutely nothing about it. It was like in a dark colored bottle.
Yeah. And
I couldn't even tell you what it was or what brand or anything it was. We're hoping somebody else wanted it.
Yeah.
But it's really weird. We've been on multiple cruises where other passengers have tried to give us like champagne.
Yeah.
And we don't drink that either. And it's like, no, thank you. Seems like people are always trying to give away their bottles.
Robert W. says, all cruises are good. Never had a bad ship.
Exactly.
Rick says, good memories, Tiffany. Bijarn, your first cruise is always special. For me, it was Carnival Valor out of New Orleans.
That was our very first Carnival cruise, was actually on the Carnival Valor when she sailed out of Galveston. So the Valor was actually our second cruise ever and our very first Carnival cruise. And Tiffany had done the Disney Fantasy. I did that with her, and then I'd been on one cruise before that. But the Carnival Valor was actually what really kicked us into our love of cruising.
Mm-hmm.
We came back from the Carnival Valor, and we're like, wow. Yeah. That really kicked, because Disney's Disney. But so the Carnival Valor, I think, was our first mainstream cruise, and it was spectacular, and that kicked us off for us too.
Pamela says 2 totally different different styles of cruises. Thanks.
Oh yeah, Tiffany and I are completely different styles of cruisers. We go on the same cruises. We enjoy a lot of the same things, but neither one of us will probably come up with the same answer for what we think is the best.
Yeah. California Linda at Pamela favorite was Discovery Princess to Alaska. Yes.
Oh yeah.
But any cruise that I'm on is my current favorite. We have been blessed to enjoy so many international ports and experiences.
This is such a wonderful group. Oh yeah, a lot of people that are in this group have been here with us for all 3 years. We have people that are here every week that have been with us since day one. And yeah, they're absolutely awesome people. We get in here and we share information and we laugh and we make jokes and we plan group cruises. And as I said, we've met some people. It's awesome.
Yeah. We
have a small but very tight-knit cruising family we're building here.
See the world with Chris. I had a wonderful cruise on the Elation. Jean said the 3 days on Bourbon Street before the cruise didn't hurt either. I bet not. Robert W., our first cruise was Carnival Triumph in 2003. Alien at Pamela, I watch several cruise channels and this is my favorite. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Pamela says, I have some homework to do learning about classes of ships.
Yeah, there's a lot of classes of ships, and each class versus cruise line versus they all have something to offer. They honestly do. And I'll tell you this, we've sailed on small ships, we've sailed on medium ships, I've sailed on Royal Caribbean's Oasis class ships. I've loved them all.
Yeah.
I've honestly loved them all.
Linda says, my favorite was in 2004 out of New Orleans, where I met my husband as we were both surviving spouses and we cruised regularly.
Now that's an awesome story.
Yes. Pamela at Alien, most definitely I can see why. Rick says, my first cruise, 1988 on Song of America. Very special to me. I shot skeet off the stern and became addicted to cruising. We were talking about that the other day, shooting skeet off the stern.
Well, it used to be a thing.
Yeah.
Shoot skeet off of the stern of the ship. Yep. Cruising used to be, I never got to experience it, but cruising used to be way different then than it was now. But you could do a lot of things. I think it's the way, you even see those stories about it. As kids, we grew up and no phones, no nothing. You were outside when the street lights came on, you went home. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids grew up like that. Your parents had no idea basically where you were for 8 hours a day. And cruising, I think, was a lot like that. And then society changed and so did cruising.
James says, okay, good people. I have an early day tomorrow. We'll say goodnight. Love the conversation tonight. Thank you, Chris and Tiffany.
Oh, you are absolutely welcome, James. Glad you could be here. Yeah, we're fixing to wrap this up. I also have an early day tomorrow morning. I got a 3 a.m. wake up.
Yes. Bizarre says, I haven't been on one of the big ships yet. Me neither. Robert W. says, here, Pamela, they are the best. Pamela says, take care of Chris, Connie, and the midnight buffets were insane.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that too.
Well, we kind of got to experience the midnight buffet when we were on.
My understanding is what we see now is nothing
compared to what it was.
Compared to the way a midnight buffet used to be.
Robert W. says, Rick says, check out the Oasis class ships.
Yes, love me some Oasis class ships.
Pamela, you'll enjoy the full moon in the morning. It's beautiful. It is a pretty moon in the morning. Alien says, I don't remember a world without. without the Simpsons, but I do remember life before the internet and smartphones.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Tiffany's going to go real quickly see what the dogs are barking at. They apparently heard something. So, but we are going to start to go ahead and wrap this up. Said I do have a 3 a.m. wake up in the morning. Let's see here. Yeah, no, any show when we get everybody in here and get everybody talking is just an awesome night. I love it. Listen, the lives are absolutely some of my favorite, and this is just a great way to end 2023. You know, next live will be next week, and it'll be our very first one in 2024.
Yes.
Were they just barking to randomly bark?
They were just barking to randomly bark. They're sounding the alarm to hurry.
Maybe they gotta do dog business.
Okay, so I enjoyed the Midnight Chocolate Buffet. Good night. Great show tonight. Have
Chocolate
a good
buffet.
Day, and thanks for taking the time with us. Ship nerds. Take care, all blessings and peace for your new year.
We're all ship nerds.
Yes. You folks have a great year. Chris and Tiffany and everyone in chat. Like Chocolate Buffet was so good years ago. Thanks for the live show. After Royal finish building the icons, it will start building smaller ships.
Yes, lives are every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If for some reason we don't have one, we'll always announce it. And then sometimes we do impromptu lives, like when we're out cruising. So when we got the cruise coming up for the Prima, sometimes if the internet's good and we're in a good spot, we may randomly throw lives. But our regular standard lives are every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yes.
So, all right. You done?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Me too. It's been so much fun. It's hard to get off of here, but we do have to, unfortunately. So thank you everybody for being on here tonight. We really, really appreciate it.
Everyone have a safe New Year. See you in
Yes.
2024.
Yeah, because it will be New Year. So happy New Year's to everybody, because
yes.
we will not
see
be
you
back
next year.
We'll see you guys next year.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. That's weird to say it like that, but yeah, we will see you guys next year. So no more lives this year. Huh.
No more.
No more. All right. Good night, everybody. Hey, thank you for being here. If you haven't done so, smash that like button for us. We really appreciate it. That just lets YouTube know to, hey, introduce us to other people. Hit the subscribe button. All of that kind of good hooey-fooey stuff that I forget to tell you guys each and every show. Thank you guys for putting that in the comments. They remember way better than I do.
Yeah.
So, hope everyone has a really great day. And like always,
We'll see you out on the high seas.
good night, everybody.
Good night. See you next time.